Number 13, Malachi Moore. Now, brother, I don't know you, but I'm not trying to disrespect you. But what you did last night on that football field was complete and utter bullshit. You are a two-time captain, somebody who has your hand and footprint at Denny Chimes and came back and decided that you wanted to be a leader on this team, somebody that is bringing in a new coach, bringing in a new regime, but you want to be a cornerstone piece, a foundational piece of this organization that keeps the tradition alive. And then you act like that. You go in the media and you talk about, yeah, we're the standard of college football. We know we're going to get everybody's best game. We know that every game that we play is going to be somebody's Super Bowl. Well, how did you show up yesterday? The only thing I remember seeing from you is slamming the guy's head on the ground unnecessarily, punching yourself, throwing your mouthpiece, kicking a foot in front, like not even in a way of like, okay, nobody's looking. Like, I'm bigger than the game. I'm bigger than the team. I'm bigger than this moment. Hey, everybody look at me. Look at how pissed off I am. Look at what I got to say about it. Let me pick up a ridiculous 15-yard penalty for literally no apparent reason. And you call yourself a two-time captain, somebody that deserves your hand and footprint at Denny Chimes. I can tell y'all what would have happened in the days that I was there. We would have tried to rip the C off of his jersey. We would have lit him up from every coach, every player, Reuben Foster, Minka Fitzpatrick, Deron Payne, Jalen Hurts, Jerry Jeudy. Everybody would have been on this dude's head. Like, what? Like, we don't do that. What's up with that? If we go out there and we get beat, we're going to handle all of our issues internally. But no guy is bigger and above this program. So you don't get to act like that. But I'm going to tell y'all exactly why he feels like he can't act like that. Is you go and you look at what Kalen DeBoer said in his post-game press conference about Malachi Moore. Oh, well, he's one of our guys and he's one of our leaders. And yeah, we expect him to use this and only bring positivity for the rest of the season. Man, damn that. What's up with that? Nick Saban would have said that? No. Would any of the players on the team said that? No. Kalen DeBoer is out here on Snapchat with these guys. He's got guys in his office all the time. Like, hey, call me anytime. Hey, I'm going to be your best friend. Whoop-de-whoop, this, that, and the third. That's bullshit. That don't help you win games. That does not help you control the talent and the level of guys that you've never coached before, guys that you've never had experience with at a program that you don't have. You don't know what it takes to win these kind of games. And you just come in here trying to be everybody's buddy. You try to be everybody's friend. Well, what does that get you? That gets you beat against Vandy on the road. That's exactly what that gets you. And even going back to the conversation I had with my running back coach, because we broke this whole game down. We talked about this from start to finish. And we talked about how players like myself, all the guys that I just named, from the time we stepped in that building at 18 years old, the values, the morals, the principles of that, the foundation of that university, of that football team was etched into our brain from the second we got there until the second that we left, along with being good people, good humans, good students, good people of service, good people in the community. That's not happening at Alabama right now. It's too much friendliness. So now you're sitting here going into week 7 like, well, we got to go back to square one and start all over. Well, how can you do that? Because you got guys like Malachi Moore feeling comfortable enough to go out there and display the type of immature, inept behavior that we saw on the field last night. And these are things we don't have to talk about. Well, their defense didn't do well against the run. They didn't stop Diego Pavia. Offensively, Jalen Milroe threw a pick six. It's not about any of that. This isn't about scheme, because you've got the players to be able to make the plays. You've got the coaches to be able to give you the plays to put these players in successful opportunities to go out and show what they can do. That's not the problem. The problem is what's in here for Alabama. I don't know if y'all can see me, but it's what's in here. It's what's in here. It's what's up here. You know what I'm talking about? Kalen DeBoer, I love him. I'm not here to badmouth him and talk bad about him, because I love what he has done, obviously outside of yesterday. But there is a huge hole missing in what the coaches are giving to the players, what the players are producing on the field, the way they represent that A that is on their chest. It's just not showing up. And it's so obvious to guys, to the people that are watching. It's so obvious to the guys that have played there, the people that have coached there, that Alabama now is just like everybody else. And you know how much that pisses me off to say that? People going to think I'm whining, crying, and complaining because, oh, big bad Alabama isn't the same anymore. Oh, well, you know why that pisses me off? I'm going to show y'all why it pisses me off. That pisses me off because I got some hardware. It's because I was somebody that did it. I was somebody that lived it. I was
got two championship rings for those who are just listening.
Mm-hmm. 2 natties, 3 SEC championships. I lived it. I lived by the code. I played the game the right way. I listened. I had somebody there in Nick Saban who put me in a position to be accountable for my performance, good or bad, to handle myself with respect and with class. And we're just not seeing that. So Alabama, what's up? What's up?
What's most interesting about everything? Like you didn't say anything about, hey, we didn't defend the run or contain the quarterback well. It's the way that Malachi Moore, by the way, if anybody missed what happened at the end of the game, he's throwing his arms up around, kind of throwing a tantrum, kicks the ball when the ref puts it down for a kneel. And I think a lot of people on the outside and fans and us in the media too probably roll our eyes sometimes when we hear about the process and the way Nick Saban goes about going things. And then when he says on game day about being a transformational coach and not a transactional coach. But I think your feelings on that game and the way a lot of former Alabama players feel about the game, it's not that you lost to Vanderbilt.
No.
It's all the other things around it that lead to you losing to Vanderbilt. And this is what I wrote in my column today, which was, this is the first real sign that Nick Saban is gone. And this happens with Kalen DeBoer teams. He went 3-0 against Oregon in Dan Lanning when he was at Washington. He also lost to a 3-9 Arizona State team in 2022. He almost lost to a 3-9 Arizona State team the next year. He almost lost
by a pick six.
He almost lost to a 5-7 Washington State team last year when he was at Fresno State. He lost to a 500 Hawaii team and a bad Nevada, New Mexico team. He'll win you the big games, but he'll also give you some head scratchers, and that is the difference for Alabama. Nick Saban went 123-4 against unranked teams. He won the games he was supposed to win. That doesn't always happen now. That is why Alabama feels like every other program now, because you're no longer going into every game without a doubt that you're going to win this game. There will now forever be something in the back of your mind when Alabama takes the field of like, there's a chance they might lose this game. And that is new.
And every team feels like they can beat Alabama now. And nobody felt, listen, I don't care what nobody said. Alabama, you're next, whatever. Teams did not feel like they could beat us, but now they do because of all the things that we're talking about. And even to your point, Chris, Kalen DeBoer's ability to cough away big, or not even big games, but small games. They were complete. Like, if we are going to get to the X's and O's, which I'm not going to dive deep into it because it doesn't really matter again, but they were out coached. They were outplayed. They were out efforted. They were out schemed. They were out everything. Absolutely everything from start to finish. And again, I'm going to go back to what I said. If you cannot corral these people, this level of players, this level of talent, this level of ego and all of those things, if you can't control that and you cannot put these players in positions to win every single game, not just the big game, the games you're supposed to win, the games you're supposed to win by 100. There were games we were supposed to win by 100. I told y'all we were tied with Citadel 14-0 at halftime. But guess what we did? We found a way to win. We were outplayed for certain parts of the game. We were outcoached for certain parts of the game, but we won because we put it all together. And so again, it pisses me off, man. It pisses me off to see everything. It's not just about, losing an era of dominance in college football. Like, I get that. And I know that for a lot of the fans out there that cheer for everybody other than Alabama, yes, this is great. But I'm telling you, it hits me in the heart because we put so much into building that program up, and to see it being torn down, not just because other teams are getting better, not just because the transfer portal, but because they're self-imploding by doing exactly the opposite of what we did to get the program there, to make Alabama different from everybody. It's a tough pill to swallow, man. It is.
I think it's interesting because, I did come into the show kind of thinking maybe we should talk about, hey, everybody knows Vandy's going to run and they still were allowed to run. But I think the bigger issue that you've hit on is the reason why there's no down years at Alabama. The reason why they've never had, we beat Georgia and now we have a spot where so many teams trip up, and Alabama never did. And now we saw them do it. It is concerning. And I think it is, like Chris said, the first sign that Nick Saban is gone, but it's kind of amazing to watch. And I think, you think back to, we've talked about that Alabama-Tennessee game in 2022. that Tennessee team was really, really good. And why did we see that outpouring of emotion and the scenes and all that stuff when they beat Alabama? Because I think in most people's heart of hearts, they're waiting for that shoe to drop. They're waiting for, well, here comes Alabama again. And I do wonder if that affects them moving forward, that, like, yeah, people are going to like to want to beat Alabama, but they maybe don't feel like the final boss anymore.